What's up? You are now listening to Americanized, a storytelling podcast where you'll hear from eclectic first and second generation Americans share their stories and real life experiences as children of immigrants. Oh my gosh, I've been bumping Stubborn Saul's album, How to Be Stubborn, like almost every day. There are lots of bops on there, and I don't just say this because he's my brother. I genuinely love that album, and I'm gonna make that my new workout playlist. One of my goals is to be a top listener of Stubborn Soul when Spotify does their end of the year Wrapped. Because what happened this past year or two, I think, I was a top listener for Pink Pantheress, and I like her songs, I like her music, I listen to them often, and I listen to them multiple times during the week because I worked out to her music. And so if I switch it up, I believe that I will be a top listener of Stubborn Soul, or he will be one of my top artists, is what I'm saying. If you have not listened to that album, please do so. I'll link it in the description. And he has a new project coming out soon. It'll be coming out next week, Friday. We are officially 2 weeks into the new year, and I wanted to discuss those superstitions that you are into. Those rituals that you performed on either December 31st or on New Year's Day. Personally, I don't consider myself a superstitious person, and until recently, I wasn't fully aware of New Year's superstition. A friend of mine was telling me about the rituals she performs on New Year's, and that conversation is what inspired this episode. So, shout out to Jackie. Thank you for inspiring me. I did some digging and found so many superstitious traditions from around the world, and I want to get into that. I'm going to share 5 superstitious traditions that people perform around the world on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. The first one is related to food. So I'm going to talk about 4 different food superstitions that people have or engage in on New Year's. So, originating in Spain, eating 12 grapes in 12 seconds is a challenge that many people do, and this is for good luck and prosperity for the entire year. 12 grapes because each grape represents a month of the coming year. And people who complete this must eat each grape in sync with the chimes of the clock. And to eat them in 12 seconds sounds kind of hard, actually. 12 grapes is a lot, and 12 seconds is not a lot. So I'm going to have to try this just as a challenge. It honestly sounds like it could be dangerous if you're really into it. And this tradition started in the early 20th century in Spain, and it is said to believe that this was kind of a marketing ploy that farmers used because they had a way to sell their extra grapes and then entice people that they will have good luck. This tradition is known as Las 12 Uvas de la Suerte. I hope I said that right. I know I didn't. Another food tradition involves onions, and it doesn't involve eating onions. In Greece, a famous New Year tradition is hanging onions on the doors. It is believed that onions symbolize growth, even in the toughest conditions. This one's kind of beautiful. So, when you kind of neglect your onion, but they will still sprout and grow. Similarly, Greek tradition believes that a new year should bring power and strength even in tough situations. In Colombia, on New Year's Eve, Colombian households have a tradition of putting 3 potatoes under everyone's bed. 1 potato is peeled, another potato is not peeled, and the 3rd potato is only partially peeled. At midnight, each person grabs one with their eyes closed, and based on the potato that they pick up, that can determine what to expect for their year. Either good fortune, financial struggle, or a mix of both. So your potato is determining how your financial future will be like in the new year. Another tradition involves eating ring-shaped foods, such as donuts, bagels, and cakes, anything with a hole in the middle. Many cultures believe that eating foods like this will bring good fortune full circle. Number 2, I read this and I thought this was really interesting and I loved it a lot. And it was quite relatable. So, in Colombia and Mexico, many people who wish to travel more in the upcoming year will carry an empty suitcase and walk around their neighborhood with it just after the clock strikes 12. And boy, do I love to travel. So this is to secure a year filled with travel and adventure. It sounds like in Colombia, this is a really big tradition that people do, and they take it further steps by putting meaningful items in their suitcases, like maps, travel tickets, postcards, just so it's more effective. I read that, this is a really lively activity for neighborhoods, and it's fun and exciting. Neighborhoods are usually full of laughter, and this is a really funny moment for people who engage in this tradition. In the Philippines, this playful ritual, primarily for children and teenagers, that helps them leap into a new year to help them grow taller in the months ahead, is having them jump as high as possible off of chairs and tables. This will bring prosperity, growth, and good fortune in the new year. Number 4, the fourth superstition / tradition / ritual that many people engage in is wearing specific colored underwear. Across Latin America, many stores sell red, white, and yellow underwear to symbolize different things. Red is for romance. If you want to find your romantic partner or experience romance in the new year, wear red underwear. If you are seeking peace, wear a white underwear. If you're in for wealth and luck, fortune, money, yellow underwear is the way to go. And the last tradition that I have never heard of, but thought it was really interesting because it is specifically an American tradition that I don't know who's keeping up with it, but it's called Hoppin' Johns. This dish has been around since the 1800s, based in the South, and it has black-eyed peas, which represent coins, and collard greens, which represent cash. Making this meal and consuming it would promise you good fortune, wealth, money. The black-eyed peas and the collard greens are the main ingredients, but you could also add ground beef and rice and different beans and peas into it to make it a more fulfilling, nutritious meal. I wonder if you have had Hoppin' Johns before, and if what you thought about it, if you liked it, if it brought you good wealth and fortune. I'd be curious. Are there any New Year superstitions, traditions, or rituals that you engage in? Have you found any success in them, or is it just for pure fun and entertainment reasons? Hope to catch you in the next episode, where you'll hear from Julie, a Vietnamese American who shares her story growing up as a refugee. Thank you so much for listening. All original music produced by Stubborn Soul. You can find him on all music listening platforms at STBRNSAL.